George, tell us about you have some news about the Highland Games.
Yeah, okay, Pete, as of yesterday, we get news from the town of Port Hope that they have accepted us to become a member of their entertainment, shall we call it, with allowing us to bring the Cobourg Highland Games to Port Hope. And we were going to now call it the Northumberland Scottish Festival and Highland Games.
Is it the same? And again, I'm sort of putting you on the spot, and believe me, if you don't know, that's fine. But I mean, is it the same days?
It's going to be exactly the same days, the 14th and the 15th of June next year. And we're also going to be having the tattoo in the Port Hope Jack Burger Arena.
And I guess how long was it in Cobourg for? Again, this is where I'm.
Well, actually 60 years, but we did miss that 1 year for COVID. And as you probably know, I've told you, I think before, that we were the only Highland Games in 2021, I believe it was, in the whole of the country. And
So to only miss it for 1 year is.
we only missed it the 1 year. Everybody else missed it for two.
And sorry, so 60 years?
This would be our 61st year if
If we didn't have
we didn't have COVID. So this is our 60th year coming up.
And I guess what people are asking is what brought it on?
Well, basically, it started about 3 years ago when the town of Cobourg decided to put a $40 a day parking fee in round about the park. East of the Victoria Park was basically free for parking. And the only ones that ever got a ticket was if somebody stupid enough to park in front of a driveway or something or a fire hydrant. So for years we had that free parking area right up to what do they call that park again?
Victoria or Donegan?
Donegan Park, yeah, Donegan, right up to Donegan Park was all free parking. Then somebody in the town of Cobourg decided to come along with putting in parking fees, and of course it was $40. Well, the first year they did that, they gave us 2 weeks' notice. But luckily I found out through the grapevine that it wasn't legal. But the town of Cobourg was still charging for it.
It wasn't legal.
It wasn't legal.
Oh, what happened there?
Oh, what happened there was somebody, I won't say who, went
Yeah.
out on the internet, and quite a lot of people got free parking because it was illegal to give tickets out until they didn't do the bylaw or whatever it was.
Didn't follow
legally.
through.
They
Didn't
follow
dot
it
the
legally.
I's and cross the T's.
No, exactly. So it was illegal right up to past the date when we actually had our Highland Games. So, but the town of Cobourg was still handing out tickets.
You must have heard a lot from the people that were the participants at the Highland Games, obviously, for that amount of money then.
Well, $40 or $160 fines, a lot of money. And basically, we heard a lot of complaints, especially from the pipe bands and stuff like that were competing. It was costing them a lot of money to come in there. First of all, they had to rent buses and stuff like that to come to the games. And then all of a sudden, we've got a $40 parking ticket if you're driving. And just people complained all around. But we still got people coming, but the counts were definitely down.
They were down, that's
They
what I was
were
going to ask.
down, and people weren't spending the money the way they were either. Like, I mean, that $40 could have meant, could have went on the beer tent, for example, or it could have went to some of the vendors that were trying to make a buck out of it too. So
Do you think COVID played a part too, though, just to be fair?
Cobourg played a big part in that.
Yeah, so everybody just getting back to normal.
Everybody was, well, that was the first year they started that, and the next year they came along again 2 weeks before the Highland Games and told us that we were not getting the free parking tickets we used to get for our volunteers. We used to get 60 free parking tickets. And these 60 tickets were basically given to us and we handed them out to whoever needed them. So let's say, for example, Pete, you would come in for 4 hours, you'd get the ticket and then you'd leave it. And then somebody else would take your place. We'd give them that same ticket. So I was told by the mayor I was stealing from the town.
Oh, the mayor said that.
Yeah, the new mayor, not the old one.
Oh, yeah.
The new one.
They
So
like,
basically,
writing was on the
the
wall.
writing was on the wall. So then, like I say, last year they come along with this thing that we're only getting 50 tickets, and we must supply the name, address, phone number, make of vehicle, color of vehicle, license plate of vehicle, And there was one more thing, I can't remember what it was.
So it's just
But it's basically, you had to give all this to the town, and they wanted it 1 week from the day that they gave us it. So we had to contact all their volunteers, and they only allowed us 50, and we've got over 100 volunteers. So we had to pick 50 people and ask them to supply us with all these details that we could then forward to the town. Of course, we were late because not everybody done it. And anyway, they done it electronically. They wouldn't give us paper passes anymore. So unfortunately for one poor woman, she took her husband's car instead of her own.
oh, and she got dinged.
She got dinged $160 because she thought she'd taken her own her husband's.
Oh,
She took her
that'd be.
husband's.
So obviously that wouldn't make you too
Yeah,
happy.
You know, so we did get lots of complaints about the parking, and a lot of people just basically said to us they're not coming back because of the parking. And then again, so for next year, we've been told by the town we're only allowed 20 passes per day. And it's not just us, this is happening to everybody. We're only allowed 20 passes per day, and we have to pay $20 for each pass. So for that 40 passes, it's going to cost us $800. And all the other volunteers, tough luck, they're not getting any free pass. So it's just enough's enough.
And this is the Highland Games did a lot for the community.
Certainly
It
did.
brought people in.
Yeah.
Like if you could talk a little
Well,
bit about.
we're talking around about 4,500 people coming into the games every year, basically. I mean, that's not all paying people. That's including the competitors. There's a good 2,000 people coming in, competitors alone. But they're spending their money on us too. They're spending it in town.
And it's good to introduce them to the town to come back. So
Yeah,
it's not just that day, it's other days.
No, it's other days. They do like the town. I mean, even the Pipe Band Society turned around and told us we had one of the nicest Highland games out there in the town of Cobourg. Now, obviously, the park at Port Hope is not as nice. It's not got a beach or anything like that, but hey, it's a bigger park. It's got more amenities. Unfortunately, they've not got as much hydro as Cobourg had, so some of the vendors are going to have to bring their generators along, but it's about half as big again. So hopefully we're going to attract a bigger crowd. And the parking is free for 400 odd cars.
When did you start looking into Port Hope?
I'd say after this year's Highland Games we started.
So the writing
talking
was on the
about it.
wall,
So the
sort of,
writing
right?
was on the wall, and one of the big things that was really annoying us was the fact that Cobourg insisted on a police check for all our food vendors only. And a lot of people wouldn't come to us because of that. Technically, what the town of Cobourg wanted was the owner of the vehicle, the food truck, to supply a police check. So if some guy is a really nice, good little guy, he's all well and he gets the police check passed, but he goes down and hires two perverts. Nothing wrong with that. That's allowed.
Yeah, true enough. So
So-
you're checking one guy, not every
But no,
person.
you're not checking the people that are actually working there. You're only checking the guy
point.
that owned it.
Good point.
So we argued this
So
with
what's
him.
the purpose of it?
So what's the purpose of it? We argued it with it. So anyway, that one day I was there, finished arguing with the mayor once more, and he turned around and said, "Well, I'll let you have the police check cancelled, but between you and I, it's still on the books.
Oh, yeah.
It's never been legally cancelled." But by that time he said that, all our guys had got the police checks done,
Yeah.
and it cost them $50 a year to get it.
Oh.
You know,
So it's just I wouldn't even say, I was going to say nickel and diming, but it sure isn't nickel and diming. But I mean, but what, so I guess who did you meet with in Port Hope then? Like
we met with a lady called Jeannie Maidens,
Yep.
who is, you probably know
Yep.
her. She's the events coordinator for the town of Port Hope. So we met her about a month ago, and she did say it between Christmas and stuff, because of all the stuff leading up to, Santa Claus and that it would take about a month, and that's what it did take. And officially the town let them, because they knew our reputation, they told the staff just to handle it, didn't have to go before council. So we were told on, Wednesday? So we were told on Monday that we've got the go-ahead to go. So we put it out last night.
looking at everything, is it bittersweet, sort of in a way?
It is definitely bittersweet because, quite honestly, I like the park at Cobourg, but I just, the bill just was too much. I mean, I don't know where the town come up with all this stuff about the parking. It's killed it. It's killed it as far as we're concerned. Our numbers were down, and it's a hassle for us arguing with people all the time. And
Yeah.
then
It's
there
not
was
what it meant to
some
be.
of the rules and regulations. Port Hope's a whole different story. We're going in there, and we're the ones that are running the event, so we're responsible for it. We answer to the town, not the vendors. The vendors don't need to. They don't even need insurance if they don't want. That's up to us. So basically, it's a whole different game as far as I'm concerned. And of course, the big thing is the parking. And the other thing that saves us a lot of money is most of it's fenced already. We don't have to buy fencing. Fencing costs us 12 grand.
Is that right? eh?
Yeah.
For a 1 day event, well, day and a half,
Two-
sort of.
2 day and a half events, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just a win-win situation, we feel. It's unfortunate. I spoke to the Carr family, one of the ladies in the Carr family, who Davy Carr started in '63. And they were a wee bit disappointed. And then when we told them what was happening, they said, hey, we don't blame you. You're keeping our family's name going. We appreciate it. So they're right behind us too.
Tell us about I guess I take it not everything's sorted out yet, but I mean, tell us about the games this year then. How's it going to be?
So the games this year are going to be a little different as far as the start of the games. We're going to do a military tattoo with mostly military bands this year because I don't know if you know this. This next year is the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. So we're doing a salute to the Air Force, and we have quite a few Air Force bands coming along. We have the Argyll and Southern Highlanders from Hamilton, and we have we've got 2 brass bands as far as I know coming, and about 6 or 7, 8, maybe 8 pipe bands. So we've reduced the price from last year to $20. It was $25 last year because of costs. So this year, dropping the price, hoping that we can attract more people. So hopefully, the Jack Burger Arena holds about 800 people. So hopefully we can get that pretty well filled up.
When's that in relation to the games?
That will be on Friday night from the door will open at 6 o'clock and it'll go from 7 till 9. And we're also going to be running a ceilidh up in the park at the same time. So the ceilidh will start at 6 o'clock, the bar will open at 5:30. And we'll go from there till 11 o'clock at night. So,
All in all, you're over the hump now. It's smooth sailing.
yep, hope so. Hopefully, yeah. And fortunately, when I joined the Highland Games a few years ago, we were in debt big time. We've now got money in the bank and we're comfortable. So we've proven our strategies worked for this last few years to get to where we are. So we're now in a point where we can afford to take a hit if it's a bad rainy day.
And other years it was touch and go because it was like you could just about bet that it was going to rain on the day of the festival. Like it used to be for a number of years, you could just about put your money on it.
Yeah. Well, this year with going to Port Hope, the Highland dancing will be all done inside. There's a big building there to the left of the field and to the east, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're going to do the Highland dancing strictly inside, so we won't be cluttered up with their tents this year. We've put it on the website, don't bring tents. So like I say, we've put a new website up. We've still got to tweak it and do a few things with it, but it's going to be a good looking website. We've changed it a lot. I was working with a girl who was involved with the government and worked on websites. So
Last question. You announced this last night, and were you shocked by the response?
I certainly have been. I can't believe over 800 people have hit our website in one day.
Well, you
And
10,000.
10,000 people hit our Facebook site.
And 10,000 people hit the Facebook site.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild.
it's wild, and most of the feedback's been positive. Been very, very few people negative about the whole thing, and a couple of ones that were negative, when we told them and explained that we have got on our website exactly why we've done all this, sweetened it up a little bit. We don't want to be too nasty about the whole thing. Town of Cobourg staff were great to us. It's just other people,
Yeah.
but it's been a really positive experience. I can't believe the number of hits that we've had between Facebook and our website.
You can tell by that the interest is there.
Yep, it was unbelievable. Really.
If people didn't care, they wouldn't have the head. So it's
Yeah. No, but like I say, there's been even the Carr families behind us, and they were the ones that started it, and they appreciate where we're coming from. And I've actually been told by several other organisations that they're thinking of doing the same thing. But
and so now it's called Northumberland Highland Games.
Northumberland Scottish Festival and Highland Games, but we're going to keep the name Cobourg Highland Games Society because we're licensed for that.
Is it a charity? Like is
It's not a charity, but it's a non-profit,
Non-profit, okay.
and we can deduct the taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Beautiful.
Over it, you know. So to change all that over is a pain, and it's a big
Yeah.
to do. The
Why
the
bother?
government, so why bother? So we're just putting it on the website now. It's up as Cobourg Highland Games Society presents the Northumberland Highland Scottish Festival and Highland Games.
Beautiful. Thank you, George. All the best, and
Thank you, Pete.
it'll be great this year, I'm sure. So well done, and it's great to carry on because,
Yeah.
as I say, it is a tradition. No matter where it is, it's a great
Yep,
tradition.
It's a great tradition, and like I say, we lost our 60th. This will be actually our 60th event, not our 60th anniversary, but it will be our 60th event. And we're kind of, what do we call it? Northumberland's first or over 60th. But everybody knows that we've been here for 60 years, and we're going to keep going, and we'll keep the Carr family name in there as the founders of it.